That's a good ass question. Can a sexual healing be a spiritual healing? Yes, it can. See what I'm saying? Like again, sexual healing is oneness. Sexual healing is a real thing. Because again, if your spirituality is about success, then you're sexual. See, I tell you about sexy, right? Sex, because sex is success. You know, this is equality. Like when you have an agreement, when you meet minds with somebody, you know what I mean? Y'all come to terms, y'all equal. It's an agreement. Like Beyond Smith will tell you, it's a soul agreement, right? So sex is a physical soul agreement. You know what I mean? It's definitely spiritual healing, but you have to have a clear mind. You have to have a free mind. See, when sex becomes painful is when it becomes attachment. When you start bringing physical and worldly attachments into the spiritual realm, right? Until I tell you, like when sex is a bartering tool, when sex becomes a product, then sex becomes painful. Sex become hurting because now you're wondering, does this person have placed the same value into this spiritual thing? Does the person place the same physical value on this spiritual thing that I do? You see? So this nigga loud as shit. I'm loud as shit. He loud as shit too. But yeah, this nigga ain't shit. That nigga hype. My bad. That nigga hype as shit. I couldn't even think. This nigga so hype. But yeah, man, and that's real. Like that's what I'm saying. We need to be more in tune with spirituality, so sex could be better. So sex could be healing. So the experience of sex could be healing. And again, I'm not a person that tells you that you need sex to be healed, but sex can be healing, right? The experience of sex, the emotional exchange, the energy exchange. See, the way we're using sex today is we're using sex as bait. We're using sex as bartering tools. We're using sex as anchor, right? We're using sex as I got you pregnant, right? We're not using sex as exchanging of energy. We're not using sex as exchanging of happiness and goodwill, right? Like I said in the video the other day, like I can make your skin clear up. You see? From sex. Sex is healing. Good sex will clear up your skin. Good sex will have you like more on a what's the shit called with your stomach and all that shit. Your movements right. You dig? So yes, sex is therapy, but you have to approach it with the God consciousness. You have to approach it with the spiritual consciousness. See, that's the video about having sex as a spiritual being, you know? Because once you get in tune with your spiritual self, again, so like I understand why we don't want to have sex, because we're having sex with non-spiritual beings, right? We're having sex with people who aren't providing energy that can heal us. We're providing energy and we're being drained with our energy, right? We're overly pleasuring people. We're overly satisfying people. And then there's no reciprocation. There's no energy of appreciation. There's no, gratification. So that is what keeps us hurt and painful and not wanting to share what we have. Like, again, you gotta understand, like, let's imagine, we're not thinking of the actual, like, again, for me, sex isn't ejaculation, right? Sex is, as a man, that's what I'm saying, as a man, sex isn't about ejaculation. As a woman, sex might be more about ejaculation, right? Because again, she has different organisms like that's working in the body that's moving around, right? So if you can figure out ways to make her, all right, let me just tell you a trick. Let me just say something. Like, I hope I don't get flagged for this. If you ever put your hands around somebody's neck, right? A girl, hopefully don't run away, do it to you, right? But put your hand around her neck, right? During the act, hold her breath a little bit. Not trying to kill her. You just trying to just let her just, lose her breath. There is like a thing, like she could start to feel like a nigga, like, how you feel your heartbeat? She can start to feel her heartbeat. She can start to feel everything around her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it'll create an ultra climax by just like, hope I don't get flagged for that, right? But that's not like, you're not trying to kill her, and that's not necessarily for you. But you know that this is going to open up her whole body. This is going to open up places in her feeling that she didn't even know she could feel. You dig what I'm saying? So boom, that's a healing aspect of sex. I know people don't understand it, and it wouldn't seem as spiritual as you would, but again, this is something that's spiritual when your goal is success, when your goal is to heal, right? Now again, I'm not telling you to go into sex to be healed, right? You can't go into sex to be healed, but you can be healed in sex. Like, you cannot be looking for someone to heal you from sex, but you can be, like I say, sex is more of a stress reliever. Sex is stress reliever. Sex is the exercise in oneness. Sex is the exercise in completeness, right? That's why I'm saying, like, you're not really, if you're having sex to bust a nut, then that's not therapy. That's not therapy. The therapy is to be in your mind. The therapy is to be in your sensations. The therapy is to be in your source feelings. Because again, like, there are emotions that can't be described, right? So when you can't describe these emotions, these are just feelings, and these are just, scenes. So the more, like, again, this is tapping into creativity. This is tapping, because this is more imagination. This is more knowing. This is more things that you haven't felt before, right? So these are the goals. Like, again, you want to have longer lasting sex, right? More vibrant, more intimate sex, but it has to be long, right? It has to be long. It can't be short. So it's a thing. It's a practice. It's an art, but it comes from you clearing your mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, like, okay, like, again, let's talk about, like, what are some spiritual therapies and shit. Like, spiritual therapy is cleansing. See what I'm saying? Now, we need to know how to cleanse ourselves and how to cleanse our mind.